Alright, before we get this episode started, after you watch this, if you enjoy it, please remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video and my channel. A big thank you to you for that. Now, here's this week's episode. Now we know that our predator control efforts and that of our neighbors were very successful based on some trail cam limited data that we saw on previous episodes. But in the months leading up to the RO360 cruise spring turkey hunt from April through May, we had exceptional wildlife activity on our 40 acres here in central Wisconsin. So, before we jump into our spring turkey hunts, let's take a look at the trail cam data accumulated during that time period from April through the beginning of May. Well, the trail cam database started out in April with mostly nocturnal deer near my turkey blind. A raccoon showed up in the early morning hours. Then more nocturnal deer during an early morning light snow. And the deer continued to be on the move after the snow stopped in the early morning hours. By mid-morning, the snow cover began to dissipate and the turkeys started to show up. Their activity continued in front of my turkey blind during the evening hours as the last traces of snowfall disappeared from the ground. During the early morning hours of the 15th of April, there seemed to be some lighting problems. I enhanced a couple of these photos to show the outline of the deer. Apparently some kind of lighting issue created near whiteout pictures during this time period. Finally, about an hour later, around 7:30 a.m., the whiteout lighting issue disappeared and normal pictures of the deer started appearing. Late in the evening of the 15th, our friend the raccoon showed up again. The early morning of April 16th brought more deer in front of my turkey blind trail camera, and the deer activity continued into the early daylight hours. Then, late evening around 9:15 p.m., our raccoon friend showed up. He's starting to make some regular appearances now. A surprise encounter between a skunk and a deer in the wee hours of the 17th of April. Check out the skunk on the left of the picture and the deer approaching on the right. As the deer approaches closer, the skunk stops and turns towards the deer. This next picture is a blur of the deer as it jumps backward as the skunk moves off camera to the left. The next two pictures show a cautious deer slowly working his way back left across the pictures. Whew! That was a close one. Greeting us again in the very early hours of April 18th is our raccoon friend. I'm beginning to worry about hens' nest eggs in the area. Just what's keeping this guy around so much? By early daylight hours, we have a strutting Jake in front of the turkey blind trail cam. Gee, I wonder who he's strutting for. About an hour later, a single coyote passes by and all daylight activity shuts down in front of my turkey blind. Now I know our predator control efforts help, and we're probably never going to eliminate them. This so far is the only yote on camera. But if we can reduce their activity to allow for more deer and turkey action, we've put in a great effort. Meanwhile, as the turkey action stops in front of my turkey blind during the day, check out these jakes, hens, and toms working on the food plot area. Activity resumes in front of my turkey blind around 6:15 in the evening as numerous deer appear. On the 19th of April, deer activity starts around 5:45 a.m. This is followed by a younger Tom and Jake challenging each other in this next series of pictures. The whiteout lighting issues continue around the same time period of 6:30 a.m. as before, but no need to enhance these photos as the whitewash isn't as bad as it was on the previous pictures. Again, about an hour later, around 7:45 a.m., the whiteout lighting conditions disappear completely as this whitetail moves in front of my turkey blind camera. In the early morning hours of April 20th at 1:18 a.m., a strange blur appears on two pictures. At first, after looking at the enlarged areas of the picture, I'm assuming these blurs are raccoons in size, and our camera-friendly raccoon is running through these two pictures. But then I notice the time difference between these two photos. The first is at 1:18 and 47 seconds, and the second one is at 1:18 and 56 seconds. This is too long of a time to have a blurred, fast-moving object only move the distance it shows. Just what are we looking at here? Then, to add to this eerie setting, almost 4 hours later, still under the cover of darkness, a single deer slowly moves through this area in front of my turkey blind. And this is the only activity for the entire day. Just what the heck happened here? Over the next 2 days, the area in front of my turkey blind was anything but normal. On the 21st of April, we still had limited activity with only a few deer appearing, the first two in the morning at 7:08 and 18 seconds. Then, just 3 seconds later, the trail cam sensors set off the camera again, but nothing shows up on the photo. The last deer appears at 3:44 p.m. and is running away from the camera. And that's the only activity on the 21st. The first photos from the 22nd of April show a deer bedded down at 4:56 and 53 seconds in the morning. The next photo, taken at 4:56 and 57 seconds, 4 seconds later, shows the whiteout effect. Absolutely nothing, a blank white photo. The next photo, taken after that at 4:56 and 59 seconds, 2 seconds later, is normal, showing the deer still bedded down. The next photo is taken over an hour later at 6:03 and 29 seconds and has the whiteout effect. I enhanced that photo trying to pick out anything, but could only make out the woods on the left side of the picture. Another photo taken at 6:03 and 48 seconds, 19 seconds later, is clearer, showing a deer with its head down in the center of the photo. By 6:45 a.m., photos taken were back to normal, showing deer and color clearly. There were no further photos taken in front of the turkey blind for the rest of the day, but a single photo taken at 9:41 p.m. left that eerie feeling. Clearly, these last 3 days in front of the turkey blind had been curious and inexplicable. Well, during the early morning hours of April 23rd, the great mystery of the last 3 days was finally revealed and identified. At 1:20 a.m. on our trail cam in front of our turkey blind, that light blur showed up once more. Enhancing the photo didn't help again, but this time, the second photo, it was identified, a raccoon. My initial thoughts were correct 3 days ago. There was no ghost mystery, a simple explanation. It was a raccoon. About an hour later, that raccoon came through again, heading back to wherever he came from, which begs the question again, what's keeping him in this area? We'll need to keep an eye out for turkey hens' nesting sites. Raccoons are notorious egg raiders. By mid-morning, it was like the dam gates were opened. A flood of tom turkeys appeared both at my turkey blind and in our food plot. The boys were most definitely back in town. Check out the trail cam action. After turkeys were trotting around all morning long, early evening brought deer back in front of our trail cams. The raccoon made another early morning appearance on the 24th. He has established a rather consistent pattern, which is now becoming somewhat of a concern to us. By late afternoon, we had a button buck and a second deer scrounging around looking for food in front of our turkey blind. Now, just before midnight, still on April 24th, our buddy the raccoon showed up again. This time, though, he brought a buddy with him. We need to be ready to step up our game if required. On the 25th, a lot of early morning deer passed by the turkey blind. Mid-morning, saw a lone turkey hen come by. But the most turkey activity came late evening from 7 to 8 p.m. Check this out. Then, just before 8 p.m., the lighting problem with the whitewash. This only happens mornings around 6:30. I figured it had something to do with the sun, but now I don't know. At least you can see the photos now. Again, on the 26th of April, a lot of nocturnal deer activity from 2:30 a.m. through 4:30 a.m. By 7 a.m. on the 26th, the turkeys were starting to become active in front of my turkey blind area. But around 8 o'clock, a yote showed up. A close look makes me think that this is the same one from the previous photo encounter on the 18th of April. So far, only one yote in the area. Surprisingly, it took only an hour for the turkey activity to resume. This is the so-called proof of the pudding, the turkey's actions. To me, that speaks volumes. It shows that the turkeys have confidence that this coyote was a low percentage random encounter, not like in the past when they were starting to homestead the area in numbers. By 9:30 a.m., the turkeys had moved through the turkey blind area, and the deer were starting to take over. There were some lulls in the deer activity, but their presence lasted until around 2 p.m. Heck, the deer were so plentiful in the area, they were moving on the food plot at the same time they were moving around the turkey blind. By 2:15 in the afternoon, the next shift of turkeys showed up. Looks like the front of my turkey blind has become part of a travel route for turkeys. I wonder just how long it's going to stay that way. Early evening had some deer moving back in, scrounging around looking for any leftovers after the turkeys scraped up the ground. Around 8 p.m., as we were having what I've been calling our whitewash problem with the lighting, deer and raccoons started showing up together. Evidently, whatever the turkeys had scraped up earlier and left behind appeals to both the deer and the raccoons. Now, the deer are more cautious than the raccoons and warily move about with them until near the end of this 15-minute dance. The raccoons spook the last deer and have whatever it is to themselves. By the morning of the 27th of April, the deer were back. No raccoons to compete with, and they were still checking out this area looking for leftovers. This whitetail spotted something, and he was moving with a purpose to get out of the way. Well, it turned out to be turkeys, but as you can see, another deer decided to share the area. Maybe he wasn't involved with the raccoons yesterday. Soon other deer came in also. But finally the turkeys started moving in. A couple at first, and then the group got bigger. Guess they're looking to excavate this area for food sources again. While the turkeys were busy in front of my turkey blind, some of the deer had moved west to our food plot area, where they found no competition for food. Well, our efforts and our neighbors' efforts have paid off big time, based on the trail cam action you've seen so far on this video. Now, as we approach the end of April here on this trail cam data video, we're going to concentrate strictly on turkey. We're not going to show deer anymore. There's a lot of turkey action coming as the RO360 cruise spring turkey hunts are getting closer and closer day by day. So, April 28th, an unbelievable trail cam action day. So, let's get this thing going. Check out this trail cam data from April 28th. All the turkey action. Unbelievable. Check this out. Well, our day starts out with a Tom and his paintbrush beard on our trail cam in the food plot area. Meanwhile, back at the turkey blind area, a large group of jakes starts to gather, and as one would expect, a bunch of teenagers loaded with testosterone, inevitably sparks are gonna fly. And it only takes two of them that don't see eye to eye, and before you know it, they're all involved. Now, just how did this all start? Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's look back at an orientation of all of the individual frames that were put into a rough movie version. Settle in and let's watch this start to finish. I know what that one turkey's thinking. He's thinking, hey guys, can't we all just get along? And back at the food plot, things are going smoothly. There are no testosterone drama problems going on here. And later that evening, near the turkey blind, still more turkey activity. What an incredible turkey action day. April 28th, 2021. Almost anything I show you now is going to seem anticlimactic after the 28th turkey action. So sit back and enjoy the rest of the turkey show for April 29th and 30th. Keep in mind, with all these trail cam pictures and videos, I have reduced the visual workload for you by well over 50%. You're seeing the highlights here. The action has been amazing on our 40-acre central Wisconsin property this spring. I hope it continues for the RO360 cruise turkey hunts coming up here in May. Another testament to the RO360 cruise and neighbors' predator control efforts here in central Wisconsin is the fact that all these turkeys are still on the ground and not on the roost at almost 8 p.m. here in late April. Okay, well that's it for part one of the RO360's 2021 Spring Turkey Series. So please join us on the next episode and join my brother-in-law Craig as he draws the first turkey tag and has the first RO360 Spring Turkey Hunt. Catch you on the next video. Be sure to join us. Feel free to comment below, or if you don't want to comment in the public eye, we can also be reached at rappingoutdoors360@gmail.com. Now, if you know somebody you think might enjoy this video series, please feel free to go ahead and share this video or this link with your friend. And as always, whether you fish or hunt, remember, practice CCR. Catch, conserve, replenish. Make sure that that resource is available for future generations. See you next time, guys.